Hello, and welcome. I am Web Weaver, and I'm so glad you have found my channel here today. This is where I do my weekly tarot reading, where I draw 7 cards just to give us an idea of what we're looking at for each day as we head into a new week. So I am using the Steampunk Tarot, which is by Barbara Moore, illustrated by Ali Fell, if you are interested in the deck. And as always, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. And I use this deck. I like this deck for a number of reasons. I have other decks I use for different purposes. But this one, I like that each card in the guide has like a sentence or two as the summary, right? So I like that I'm able to kind of give you that summary for each day based on what the card means, and it's provided with the deck itself. So that's why I use this deck. All right, so this reading is actually going to be for the Monday the 16th. I think it takes us to the 22nd. Is that right? We run Monday to Sunday. So we're starting on February 16th. I really need to have a calendar with my things. All right. So I hope you've had a beneficial week. I hope that, that's right. I don't read reversals, but I just, mixed up the cards, but that's fine. All right. I will fix it later. Anyway, I hope your week has gone smoothly. I survived my first ever sedated medical procedure last Monday, so that was nice. All right. The week ahead. What do we need to know for the coming week? Monday the 16th, Tuesday the 17th, Wednesday the 18th, Thursday the 19th, Friday the 20th, Saturday the 21st, and Sunday the 22nd. We need to know for the coming week. All right. So we will stop there. I can tell which way the cards go, so I can prop them upright. For Monday, we have the Sun. So that is a very beneficial card. It's happy, good times. It can also mean enlightenment. It can mean things coming to light, being fully revealed, depending on the situation at hand. So depending on what you've got going on in your life, it could be that something is going to be revealed. But you can see we have 2 characters that are dancing, very lively and energetic. We've been in the doldrums of winter for a while, so you know, when that sun comes out, my sister-in-law just sent me a meme today about, when that 3.5 seconds of February sunlight hits your soul, right? So the sun is something we've really been looking forward to in the natural world, at least where I live. But it brings you that energy and that warmth and that vitality, and you start to feel happiness again after the long dark winter. It can also be personal power. The sun is very much about bringing your personal power to the surface, but it's very much a happy, joyful, energetic, enlightening card, but it can bring things to light. So the quote for this card is, "Dance with me." Why? because life is amazing. So that is a lovely card for Monday. I will take that for Monday. Tuesday, we have strength. So strength, when you think about strength, this card to me is always much more about inner quiet strength as opposed to that outward, the card before this is the Chariot. So that is very much the strength of motion and continuing on. Whereas this card is more that self-control, right? It's the strength of having control of yourself, being calm. You have a strong character, a strong integrity. Again, can be about personal power. But having that restraint, I always think about the Chariot as I think of chariot races, right? When you're thinking about, in ancient Rome, and everybody's just flying around this circle and going super fast and trying to show off their might. That's not what we have with strength here. We have that calm strength, that inner strength, that person you're looking to when you need that calming energy, that self-control. The image of the lady sitting there with this lion that could just eat her up at any moment, but he's not, because she's being calm and gentle and kind to him. So the quote for this card is, "Thank you for your kind aid. Instead of devouring you, I will serve you." So, again, a lovely card for this week. All right, we have a lot of major arcana to start out. That's it's interesting. All right, so on Wednesday we have the Emperor, which is the fourth arcana, number 4 in the major arcana. The Emperor is something of a fatherly figure, but in the sense of order and structure and authority, regulations. He is a leader, very much a father figure. Not so much in this card. In some of my other decks, you really get the sense of him being a father figure or a family man, because there are, children playing in the background, or the home is in the background. This card doesn't quite have that feel to it, but he is kind of, the head of his castle, the sovereign. He's one that you go to when you need advice. So he's very responsible and balanced and reasoned. But the whole idea of order and stability is a theme of this card, which is also not a terrible thing. So the quote for this card is, "Nature provides us with great bounty once a year. I make sure we have something to eat every day." So when the harvest comes in, it's not all just squandered. He's very balanced. He's very regulated. There are set rules, but he is in control of the home. So order and stability and that kind of thing for Wednesday. All right, Thursday we have, wow, okay, the High Priestess. This is quite a week. All right, so the High Priestess is about your unconscious. It's not inaction, it's non-action. So there's a lot of mystery. You can see that we have a tarot reader in the card with her crystal ball there, and she's getting ready to look to see what she sees in the cards and the ball. But it's about your inner knowledge, your inner wisdom, your unconscious awareness. There's potential, there's mystery. It's about, it's that inner wisdom. It also has to do with lunar energy, but the full moon is, or the new moon is actually on Tuesday. But it's about working with lunar magic and energy. And a lot of times it has to do with understanding things through experience. In one of my decks, she looks very another card of balance, but it's more inner balance. So it has a lot to do with your unconscious awareness. So there may be something going on Thursday that has to do with turning inward, looking inward at your potential, your wisdom, maybe gaining wisdom, contemplation. You just may be turning more inward on Thursday in some way or another. All right, for Friday, we have the moon. Now you saw me. You saw me shuffle these cards, so I'm amazed at this at the moment. But that's fine. That's fine. All right, so the moon. The moon can sometimes have to do with fear, but it's usually about the illusion and things being illuminated. A lot of times that fear is our imagination. This card has to do with illuminating things that would stay hidden. It ties into the crone aspect of the goddess. Seeing beyond, seeing what others would rather you not see. It's about intuition, trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, which in turn goes along with experiences, which kind of has to do with the High Priestess here. You may be in an uncertain situation. You know, it's dark here on either side of the light of the moon. You can see the path you need to take, but that doesn't mean there aren't, you know, wee beasties or even large beasties hanging out in the dark that you can't see. So it's an uncertain situation. But the moon tends to reveal what it needs to reveal. So truths will be revealed. So the quote for this card, I don't think I read the quote for the last card. The quote for this card, "It was all so strange, and I cannot remember it properly." Well, you know how dreams can be. And then for the High Priestess card, I'm sorry, I don't think I read that. She's completely batty, I tell you. Didn't say a word the whole time, just sat there smiling at me. So there you have it. All right, for Saturday, we have the Lovers. I can't help but feel that this is going to be a monumental week. I'm just going to put that out there because I have never had this happen before. All right, so the Lovers. This is about relationships. It doesn't always have to be romantic relationships. It can be partnerships. It can be business dealings. It can be agreements that were made. But it can refer to relationships. But it tends to often be non-romantic. But the important thing to remember here, whether it is a romantic relationship or not, is that the choices you are making now will affect your future. So you need to make sure that you are in agreement, body, mind, and spirit with whatever choice you are making, whether it is to be in a relationship or not, or a business dealing or not, or whatever decision or commitment it is that you are being asked to make, that you do so with all of yourself in agreement. And then for Sunday, it's our first non-major arcana. Okay, 5 of Swords. Whew. So swords are about air. Air is about intellect, thinking, yeah, it's all up in the mind. So even though swords tend to be like a battle item, it's not the fiery battle item. This is the air battle item, and fives are a little difficult. So you can see there that it looks as though this man is possibly trying to sell swords. He's got 3 of them there. He's trying to sell these other 2. He's very interested in selling for himself, right? But these 2 don't look real happy with the swords that they're holding. So maybe the quality's not that great, but there is some disagreement here. They don't look real happy. There's some discord there. They may be accusing him of things. He kind of looks like he's trying to stand his ground, like he's defending his honor kind of thing. It can do with embarrassment or trickery or illusion. But the thing to remember with the 5 of Swords is that it's only a partial defeat. It's only, it's not like, oh, I've lost everything. Or, you know, it's not the 10 of Swords. It's not the Tower. It's not any of those things. It is a victory, but it's not necessarily a pleasant victory. I just watched the first of 3 Hobbit movies the other day, and, you know, our enemy was vanquished, but there was no song. Our dead were larger than the grief that we felt. It's a victory, but it's only a partial victory. There is some defeat there, okay? But don't give up. Don't give up. You still won. You know, I'm a big hockey fan, so, oh yes, we beat this team in overtime. They still got a point because we went in overtime. We won. We got the 2 points, but we didn't really want them to get a point. So, you know, it's a partial defeat. The quote for this card is, "He may have all the swords now, but I warrant someone will find something else to stab in his back." So, pleasant. All right, so that is our week. It really doesn't look too bad till we get to Sunday, but even Sunday's a victory. It's just a partial victory. So, you know, this is a pretty interesting spread. This may be a monumental week. So just keep your head about you. And I hope you have an awesome week. Blessed be.